Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is September 30th, 2021. This is episode 426. 426. Today is Serial. This is number 7 in the arc, coming out from Abstract Studios, and it comes in at a whopping $3.99. Now, I just want to say that there are a lot of comics that I am getting right now, and this is one that I consider like a tier 1 comic. I can't wait to get the next one, and I read them pretty quickly right after I get them, and just enjoy them. This one kind of snuck up on me. I do like Terry Moore quite a bit. The last few I've read, they've been okay, but this one is, wow, this is really getting me going. I love it. So with that said, this is obviously a recommend, and I'll just take a quick look at the cover here. We've got our hero, Zoe, who is, I explain this every time. She came out of the wonderful storyline, Rachel Rising, and she was a 10-year-old that was possessed by the devil. They killed her to get the devil out, and then they were able to resurrect her. However, she never ages, and that was 20 years ago. So she is still a 10-year-old. She's like a 32-year-old trapped in a 10-year-old's body. So she can do everything that a 32-year-old can do, only she doesn't grow up physically. Here we got this spooky-looking wooden bridge during a storm. Obviously, there's some kind of perp following her. She's getting the knife out. She has no qualms about killing people, which is kind of a little added twist to this whole story. Just a wonderful, wonderful, lovable story all the way around. Okay, let's take a quick look to who worked on this. This won't take too long. Oh boy. Well, actually, I don't know if there is a cover page for this one, but just want to mention that Terry Moore is the writer. He is the artist. He does the inking, and he does the lettering, so he does it all, which is great. So it is really a cottage industry for him. He is a one-man cottage industry for these books. Every book that he does seems to start off with kind of a quote and a little picture. And this one's Little Miss Muffet nursery rhyme, and then it's expanded, and he goes to these cinematic looks, the panning and close zooming in, things like that. See a spider coming upon its prey, jumping it, and then just discarding the empty carapace down below. And this is all taking place outside our serial killer's mother's window at the nursing home. Now, if you recall, this serial killer takes a token and then she puts it in a glass cube for a memento, and she's leaving them with the mother. The mother has some kind of dementia. She's kind of out of it most of the time. But, she doesn't really say anything. She just kind of looks out her window and then has these mementos. But one is disturbing her quite a bit. The nurse's aide comes in and says, hey, I see you got a new cube. You want to take a closer look at it? And she starts freaking out. And this is when the aide actually takes a closer look, and she sees that it's a human finger in this glass cube. And we go away. Now Zoe is figured out who the killer is, and she's stalking her, trying to catch her in the act. If you recall, in the first issue or two, Zoe's best friend is killed by this killer. Because she was married to the husband of an abuser, sexual abuser. Let's just say that. Some are child abusers that are getting killed. Some are sexual harassment people. So she puts what appears to be something in the gas thing, maybe a homing device or something, a tracking device, closes it and takes off. And then they wait for the killer to come out so they can follow her closely. Now, the killer's at her office right now, and she's cleaning up before she goes home, but she's doing a very deep clean, a very, very deep clean. And she fixes a cup of coffee for her boss, who is a therapist. This is how she's finding out where these victims, who are going to be her next victims are. Her patients are in therapy are telling her about who is victimizing them. So she kind of spills the beans at this point that she is the murderer of these people, but she's also has spiked the therapist's coffee with some kind of cyanide or some kind of poison. You can see it coming out. So she's doing away with her because she knows she has to move on. She knows the jig is up. She's got at least Zoe following her, and she doesn't know who else at this point. So she takes off. Zoe follows her in her van. It starts raining. Our killer stops for gas, supposedly. But Zoe goes in to get some snacks. And this is when our killer sabotages Zoe's car. So when Zoe comes out, she sees the car is gone and that she has a flat tire too. And she's kind of upset about it. Then we get to cut her out way to this scene where someone's walking through the woods here. And I'm assuming it's the killer. And they step on a little baby bird that's out there. And it's our killer. And she's outside this house. And I believe this house is the home of her father, who has started a new family. And so she makes friends with the kid down here. And she's saying that she's waiting for her father to come home. And the killer surprises the father, obviously. So that's where it ends. We're left at a cliffhanger here. What's going to happen with the interaction between the two are, and what's going to happen to the little girl here too. So nice cliffhanger. Just a really cool story. Just really enjoying it inside and out. So let's take a quick look at other stuff that Terry Moore has worked on. We have Strangers in Paradise 25. Kachu Returns. That came out a couple of years ago. It was the 25th anniversary of Kachu, and it brings in all his characters that he created over the years. So it's a little bit different story. Then we have Ever, which was a graphic novel that came out a couple of years ago now, and it was good. I gave it a recommend. The Motor Girl, this is another recommend I gave. 10 issue. It had its moments. I did enjoy it. It wasn't as good as something like Echo or Rachel Rising or Serial for that matter. And then we all have his Strangers in Paradise, which I have never read, and this is like a huge collection. So maybe someday I'll get to that. So here's Echo. Love this. Rachel Rising. Love that. And those are all in omnibuses now. And of course, we have his Terry Moore's How to Draw. As you know, he is the artist. Expanded version came out, I think, in April of this year. And I did buy a copy and I did review it. So you can look that up as well. So there you go. Let's see. Let me get my seal of approval. Where did it go? Stickum is gone on this, so I'm going to just lay it right in here. This is the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating Seal of Approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channel, except no substitutes. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.